Hey guys, today I'll show you how to automatically generate and publish super high quality social media posts like this. As you can see, all the images are beautiful, they're following the specific brand style. You can see the colors, the fonts, the overall structure of the images is very consistent. And we have many more images which are all 100% automatically generated, so I was not trying to edit something or tweak the prompt. And the system is also writing the whole text for your posts. And this text is based on the web research and it is actually providing value to your target audience. So I built the whole system using n8n. This is a very simple no-code tool, and let's enter it. So now let's execute the workflow and see it in action. But while we are waiting, I want to explain why I'm filming this video in the first place. I'm seeing so many videos on YouTube about how to use AI for the content creation, but in my opinion 99% of them are complete bullshit, because the final result, the final quality is so low. The images are shitty, the quality of the text is very low, it is not actually interesting, and this video is my attempt to solve this problem holistically, to build a system that is not taking any effort from your side, but is actually creating high quality stuff consistent with your brand, consistent with your colors, and very interesting to your audience. So as you can see, the process was finished. The system generated the new idea for the post, the text, and created an image and saved it all to the database. So let me show it to you. We have here every single row representing a new post. So we have the name, the idea, the text, the image, and the status. So this blog is about marketing and sales, and let's check this post out. Why K.S. Blake Griffin Super Bowl ad succeeded where others failed. So as you can see, this post is a case study of a specific famous ad, and the goal is to extract some insights and show it to the viewer. And also this text was created using the web research, so it's based on the specific facts that the system was able to find. And then we have the image related to this post. So let's check it out. We can see that consistency is better than celebrity, the very relevant image, and it will go well with the post. So as you can see, the system working perfectly. And now, once we are satisfied with the post, we can just switch the status from review to ready, right? And then go back to the system. And once this auto posting sub workflow will be executed, this post will be published to our LinkedIn. So let's run it right now. It will take the data from our database, it will download the image and make the new publication on the LinkedIn. You can do in the same manner for the Instagram or Twitter, but for the sake of example, I'm doing that for LinkedIn. And now here's my LinkedIn, here are my old posts. Let's refresh the page. As you can see, the new post just appeared, the whole text is here and the system is working. So this video will have three parts. First of all, I'll give you an overview of the system. I'll explain to you the main components, how they are set up on the example of my marketing and sales blog. Then I'll show you exactly how I built it in n8n. I'll walk you through every single node and explain to you how it is set up inside and how you can tweak it if you want to. And finally, I'll give you my free template so you can set it up and start using it for yourself. So let's begin with the system overview. So the system has four main components. The first one is generating new post idea and all materials, like the text and the image prompt that will be generated later on. So first of all, we're going to our database and we're pulling up all the existing ideas. And we want to show it to our AI agent so it knows what was already written. So the new idea that it will create will be fresh. It's not used in the past. This is very important. And then what is really interesting is how this agent is set up inside. So here in the system prompt, this prompt is very structured, so it is super high quality. We're explaining the role, we're explaining the objective, and then we're explaining the scenario. And basically in scenario, I was trying really to think deeply how to structure this blog about marketing and sales. And I came up with four main content buckets, four main content pillars. As you can see, I'm trying to explain that the first bucket is timeless principles. So these are the ideas from timeless books on marketing and sales, like Robert Cialdini's Influence or Persuasion or $100 million Leads or $100 million Offers by Alex Hermosi, right? So this is one of the bucket of ideas. And agent will be generating these ideas every once in a while. The second stuff is the case studies. For instance, a case study breaking down one of the famous ads from the latest Super Bowl. So we're basically connecting our content with famous companies, famous brands, and trying to explain all that to present it in our marketing blog. The third one is growth hacks, for instance, latest SEO growth hacks, latest Instagram growth hacks. And here, as you can see, it is crucial that our system is connected to the web, so it can do the web research and find the latest trends, the latest facts. This is what makes the system actually useful to the end user. And in my opinion, this is super important to think through what are the content pillars, what are the content ideas. Because if you're not doing that, then your blog will be something generic about marketing or something random, not consistent about marketing. But here we're creating the foundation, and people who will actually consume this content, they will feel and they will understand your brand. So, and the final thing is controversial ads, also the breakdowns of controversial ads. Here I'm trying to tap into something viral because anything related to controversy is making content more attention grabbing, you know. And then I'm explaining the expectation, what the output should look like in terms of the length, in terms of the description, in terms of the style and whatnot. So you will be able to tweak it all specifically for your use case. So here is how we're setting up this brain of the system. It is using Anthropic because Anthropic is the best model by far to write high quality texts. Also, we're connecting it to Perplexity to do the web search. And this is just the technical thing, doesn't matter yet. So this was the first part. And by the way, if you're enjoying the content so far, please subscribe to my channel because it will help me create high quality content like that in the future, right? The second part is about generating an image and saving all that to our database as well as the Google Drive. So as you can see here, this is important. I've never seen no one showing this example that I'm doing in this video. I want to use OpenAI image API to generate a new image, but very important is to generate the image very consistent with your brand style. So we don't want to explaining the style only by words because it is too hard. It is not possible to make consistent images if you're always generating only with the textual prompt. And for that reason, here I'm downloading the image with the reference of the style. So let's open it up. I'll show to you how it looks like. So you see this image, it has the black background, a little bit dark grainy background as well. And then we have main colors as white and this, you know, light green, and also the font. And I'm providing this image as an example, as a reference for the OpenAI image model. So it will generate a new image specifically based on this style. So because of this component, we have this consistency across different images. Without it, I tried to do that. You can try it yourself. The result will be so much worse, right? And then here's a very simple request to the OpenAI. Here we're converting it to file, and then we're uploading it to the Google Drive. Let me show to you how it looks like. So we have my Google Drive, and here is the specific folder with everything related to this project. So we have every single image for a new post. So for instance, this is the post about content optimization strategy. Let's open it up, and here is the post. So all of the posts are saved here, and let's get back to it. And we're uploading it here, and then we're saving all that to the database that I already showed to you. So we have the whole management here. You can see we generated already 60 posts. This is crazy, and it happens literally like in zero time. So this is the power of the system. So as you can see, it is set up quite easily, but the design is so important. Without the right design, you won't get the right result. And here we have the auto posting block, which is also very simple. We just want to regularly go to the database, pull up a new idea that has the status ready. As you can see, we have the review, but if we'll switch it to ready, then the system will pull it up, and then we'll select only one of the posts that are ready every single day, right? And then we'll download the image, then we'll publish it to LinkedIn and update the status. So the workflow is quite simple. And about this, Twitter and Instagram, in the n8n you have the dedicated node for the Twitter, and for Instagram you don't have it. You have to go through a little bit more complicated route with the Graph API from the Facebook and stuff, but I won't go too deep in the details. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. But also there are so many videos on this topic, how to post on IG, that's not a problem at all. And I want to finish this system overview with the example of the super high quality LinkedIn blog. So here's the guy, Matt Gray. He has almost 1 million subscribers, and he's a very simple blog about scaling the business. So he's just doing these posts with images and text, very similar to what I already showed to you. So you can see very long read, a lot of valuable stuff in here, and then we have the image, which is kinda in the style that is written by hand. But right now, the guy is selling digital products to his audience that he built only using the LinkedIn posts, and he's making more than $1 million every single month. Just think about it. This is a crazy result. And right now, with a system like that, the guy can automate literally 95% of his content creation efforts. And you can do the same. You can automate your personal brand creation using that on LinkedIn or on Twitter, whatever. I think the system is better for these two platforms, not for Instagram, because Instagram is more dominated with Reels. But still, just think how much more productive your career could be with this thing, getting all the connections, getting all the clients and whatnot. And now I will explain in detail how I built every single node. So let's go here. We have two triggers, the schedule to run it every single day, and then the manual just to run it when we're testing the system. Here is the Google Sheet node. As you can see, we selected our database, we selected our sheet, and basically just connected to our Google Sheet account. Here we're doing the simple JavaScript code to take all the ideas that we've just pulled from the previous node and combine them in one string. So we then can use it in our AI agent. And now we have the AI agent. It has two big prompts inside. First is the user message. So basically here we're providing the list of ideas that we've just crafted previously, and we're asking to generate all the stuff that we want, right? And before that, we have the system message, which describes all the expectations, all the instructions, all the SOPs. And here I'm using the standard framework where I'm explaining the role, then the objective, then the scenario, and then the expectation. So in the expectation, I'm asking it to provide the output in the JSON format, and I'm showing the schema. So we have the name, the idea, the text, the title, then we have the image description and stuff. So I'm providing an example of the output based on the very similar kind of post to my niche. So the agent will understand precisely what I'm looking for. And also I'm connecting this AI agent to the AI brain. Here I'm using Claude 3.7 Sonnet. This is the best model for writing. And here I'm using the Perplexity Research. This is the tool to do the web research. It is actually the sub workflow. So let me show you how it works. I'll get back to the workflows, and here is this workflow. Very short, very simple. We're just receiving the query that we want to send to Perplexity AI. And here we're using the HTTP request, just using the Perplexity API. And here we're determining the body. And here is the request. And here is the simple system prompt that you're the content researcher and blah, blah, blah. And finally, I'm just providing the output in the specific field called output. So just renaming the field, nothing very complicated, to be honest. And let's get back to the main workflow. Here it is. And the third thing that we connected to AI agent is the structured output parser, because it's not enough to provide an instruction to make the output as JSON. We want to also validate that. We want it to be sure that it has the right structure. And here is the example of the JSON. So the agent just understands, okay, we have these 5 fields and all of them are basically strings, and that's it. So this is how the first part is structured in details. Then we're going into the Google Drive node. Here we're simply using our Google Drive account and we're downloading the file, and here is just the shared link to this file. So basically this file is from here. This is the reference image. I'm just pressing share, connecting, copying the link and pasting into the n8n here. Nothing complicated. And here we're using the OpenAI API, and n8n does not yet have the specific node, OpenAI's node, to generate images. We have to do that through the HTTP request, which is still very simple. Here is the URL of the request, here are the credentials, and here is the data, so the image from the previous step, as we are using this image as a reference. And now we have the prompt. Here I'm once again trying to double down on the description of the style that we're going after. And then I'm providing the prompt that was generated by the AI agent previously. And then we're converting it to file, also just a very technical step, because previous node will output something like in the computer programming type of format, and we want to transfer it to file so we can actually view it, check out the image, and then save it to the Google Drive on the next step here. So I'm naming the file using the name of the title of this post. So this is the easy way to identify them. So let's go to the Google Drive in here, and as you can see, all the images, they have very simple names: micro community marketing, loss aversion and B2B sales. And this is basically the title from my database, emotional journey mapping and whatnot. Right, so here we're determining the file name and just determining the location. This is the folder. You will need to create your own folder where you're storing all this data for the system. And then we're updating the database, basically pulling all the data here inside. Name, idea, text, image, and status we're setting to review, because we want to first review the post and only then it will be either rejected or published. So this was the first main part. Then we're going to auto posting. Here also very simple schedule, set it to 1 day at 4 p.m. So this is the normal time when you will want regularly to post, because this is just before people are getting free from their work, and this is the time when you're starting to see the highest levels of activity on social media. So then we're going to the Google Sheets once again, just to take one of the posts that has already status set to ready, so we can use them to publish if they are at all. Maybe we have none of them, so this subsequence will not work. That's also fine. So we are picking only one post because we want to do one publication every single day, and then we're downloading the image from this post because we need to download it before we can actually publish it to LinkedIn. And here we're using the very simple dedicated LinkedIn node. Here we are connecting to our account. Now we're selecting the operation, create, and then I'm choosing my own account here, and then putting the text from my database, as well as providing the image from the previous step. And then once it is published, then we'll update the record in the database. Also very simple, we'll just find this specific row with this post and set the status to posted, so we know that, okay, it's finished. And by the way, if you are not satisfied with the post, you can set the status to be rejected in here, and then you know that, okay, this is a bad post, maybe I didn't like the image, maybe I didn't like the copy, so let's just not publish it at all. Or you can just press here and delete the whole row altogether, so your system is very clean. So this was the main part of the system, and here is the blocks for Twitter and Instagram. Here is the dedicated node for the Twitter post. You can paste the text here, you can connect the image here. And then for the Instagram, it is a bit more complicated. So you need to first prepare the data. Then you need to create a specific Instagram media container. This is how it works with this kind of Facebook Graph API. You need to send this request to Graph API, and you will need to create an account. You will need to obtain specific credentials from Facebook, and then you will need to wait while this container is processed, and only then you can actually hit publish, and it will go live on your Instagram. So at this point, hopefully you understand how the whole system works deep down inside. What is the logic? What are the parameters of every single node? And if you want to tweak something, if you want to tweak some prompts, some settings, maybe you want to use, instead of the Google Drive, you want to use Amazon, or instead of the, I don't know, Anthropic Claude, you want to use OpenAI's model. Doesn't matter, it's very simple to change. Now you know how to do that. And finally, as promised, I'll show you how you can copy and set up the system from my template for free and start using it for yourself. So here's the Google Doc with the first part of instruction. You'll be able to find it in the description down below. It is very easy, so just follow through. So it might take you roughly 15 minutes, obviously depending on your level of technical skills, but all of the steps are very simple here. And right now I'll show it all to you step by step. So the first step is obviously to create your n8n account. So just go to this platform, you can start for free. Then you will need to download the template. This is the JSON file from my Google Drive, just a simple JSON. So this is the first and the main part of the workflow. So this is this part of the workflow. And then you will need to use it inside your n8n. So let me show you how it works. So basically you go here and then you press create workflow. And here you will press three dots, and here you will press import from file. And here you will use the file that you've just downloaded from the Google Drive, and the whole workflow will pop up, right? Very simple. Now let's go back to the instruction. Once you have it, just save it, that's fine. And then we'll need to import the second workflow, which is the Perplexity AI sub workflow. Very short, very simple, but the process will look absolutely the same. And once you created this workflow, just name it Perplexity Research, this sub workflow. And then you have everything in the n8n, and now we need to only set up some API connections, which will be very easy. And for that, we're getting back to the n8n. Let me open this workflow. And here I have the whole instruction prepared. Yes, it is a little bit long, but don't worry, don't be scared. Actually, every single step is super easy, and I try to put as much effort, as much front load work, so you don't need to struggle with anything. Every single step is nailed and it will work perfectly for you, right? So we need to go and set up all the connections, like with Google Sheets, with Anthropic, with LinkedIn, everything. So first of all, Google Sheets, this is the easiest thing, just opening this node. Here you will be able to press create new credential and you will connect it using your Google account. Then the second part is to set up the Google Drive credential. This is probably the most complicated step. You will need to go to the Google Cloud console. There you will create or select a project. If you're new to it, just create new project. Then you will need to enable the Google API. Then you will need to create some sort of credentials, paste this URL to the Google Cloud, so it kind of connected from both sides. And then you will need to copy the client ID and the client secret and paste it here in the n8n node. So let me open it to you. Right here, if I'm pressing here and create new credential, as you can see, you will need to paste the client ID and the client secret here. And once it's pasted, you'll press save, and then you will need to go through the Google account sign in. And on that node, your Google Drive will be fully set up. So this node and this node, everything will be working fine. Just follow the steps and you'll be good to go. Then we want to connect to our Claude. So here you'll need to go to Anthropic, simply sign up and create an API key. And here in this Anthropic node, you will also just press create new credential and paste your API key. Then we're going into the OpenAI. And here you will also simply go to OpenAI, generate your API key. And here you will open this node. And you will need to create your new credential. So here you will select generic credential type, then header auth, and here you will press create new credential. As a name, you will paste authorization. As the value, you will paste bearer space and then your token. And then you'll press save. And on that note, you'll be good to go with OpenAI. The next step will be to configure Perplexity AI. So here, once again, you will go to the Perplexity API console and register there and create new API key. Then you will go to the n8n, and here we need to go to the sub workflow. As I said, this workflow, which is Perplexity Research, and in this node you will need to tweak something. So here you will also create generic credential type, then choose header auth, and here you will also press create new credential, and in the similar way as with OpenAI, you will press authorization, then the bearer space your token, and then you will press save. And on that note, you're good to go. So let's get back to the main workflow. Here we've set up everything, even to the Perplexity AI, and then we have a couple more steps. The next one is to connect to the LinkedIn, which is very simple. We have the dedicated node from the n8n. Here is this node. You'll just press create new credential, and here you'll be able to log in into your LinkedIn and to grant all the needed permissions for the system to work. And then the final step, you have to customize the system for yourself. And here is the whole instruction, what you need to do. So first of all, you need to tweak some prompts in the image generator. Obviously here it is prompts related to the marketing and sales block. You need to tweak it according to your needs. Maybe it's a crypto block, maybe it's a block about, I don't know, meditation or making money online, whatever you want to. And please think deeply about what are the content pillars, what are the content buckets. Provide really high quality examples of the text and of the image description that you want to have as the final output. This is the main part that you need to do, but you need to do it only once. And once you did it, really high quality, then you have hundreds of posts created for you very easily. So please spend some time on this step. And then we need to create a Google folder inside our Google Drive where we'll store all the images and all the stuff. So let me show you how my folder looks like. So we'll have all these images, but also what is important, we have this reference image. I don't know what is the name of the image. I just know that it was named with caps. Yeah, so style reference. Here's the image that I put in here that I'm using later on as the reference for the style. So we created this folder, then we are putting the reference image. This is the third step, and we're just copying the link to this reference image and pasting it here in this node, which is image style, very easily, right? So also take care about this image that you're using it as a reference, because this will define the quality of your images eventually, right? And then we want to set up the OpenAI image node to just adjust simple prompt, simple instruction, because here, as you can see, the prompt is quite short, but I'm trying to double down on the style that I'm going after. So I'm saying once again, I want the black and dark grainy film background, and I want this and these colors as the main elements and whatnot. So here, once again, just double down on your style, explain it, explain your brand's identities, so the OpenAI understands it better. After we did this, the next step is to copy my Google Sheet. So you will need to copy my database. I will also attach the link to it either in this doc or in the description down below, so you'll be able to easily find it. So just copy this structure of the Google Doc. We have these columns, we have these kind of statuses in here. Also, you can remove all this data from it, of course, because you will be creating your own posts, but just for the ease of use, you can copy it. Once you copy it, you have to select this not Google Doc, but Google Sheet. You have to select it inside the Google Sheet notes. So in here you will just select it manually. You need to tap on it manually. Even if you see the right name, you still need to do this process again, because the connection might not working properly if you didn't do it manually. And also you have to connect it here and here and here. And on that note, Google Sheets are connected. Then in the Perplexity research, we have to select the right sub workflow. So as you can see here, my sub workflow is connected, but you will need to do that manually once again. Just press here, select it, and then the connection will be working fine. And finally, after that, you can just activate the system like this. So the system is activated, so it's actually running every single day. So at this point, hopefully the whole system is set up and running for you and growing your audience while you're sleeping. If you enjoyed this, check out another video where I built another AI system, which will be super interesting for you.